Hey, it's Karen from Liongate Farm, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this cute little hare. It's an easy one, so let's get started. Like I said, we're going to make this cute little hare. He's a tiny little hare. He is only, let's see how tall he is. You know, I always do that backwards. He's only about 4 inches tall, so this is a tiny one. And it's a total beginner project. So if you're just starting felting, this is a great beginner hare spring bunny project. So you're only gonna, I use just core wool, but you can use any color you want. You know, I suggest making this one totally out of the color you choose. Then you need a little pink, and then you need a little black. You can use a skewer to build your legs. You don't really need it. So let me, I'm using a 38 star spiral needle, and then I've got 38 stars loaded into my pen tool. So let me show you how to do this. So the first shape we're gonna build is this little kind of cone, graduated cone shape. And you can see it's looser up here, firm down here. So you're gonna need some core wool. And again, you can use your skewer to wrap it or not. And I will do the skewer, but if you don't have one, you don't need one. Remember, the tighter you wrap. So on this one, I'm gonna do something different. This is a new batch of core wool, so we'll see how silky it is. I just opened it. It's a little bit different. So remember, just fatter down here, and I'm pulling it pretty tight because I secured it. Definitely want it wider down here, and I'll give you a measurement here in a second. It's January here in Oregon, and today it's been crazy. It was 64 degrees this afternoon. And so, you know, the sun is out. John and I got busy. He got, because I'm not allowed on the ladders still, he got all the fruit trees but one pruned, and we got a bunch. You know, that's something we usually put off, but holy cow, we're ahead of the game. So all the fruit trees are pruned, and I started to clean out the cutting gardens, which I'm so slow at it these days. So you can see I'm leaving the skewer in there while I'm felting this. Try not to hit your skewer because you will break your needle. So that looks a little taller, but it's actually not. So we want to make this 3 inches by like 1 1/4. 1 1/4. It sounds like Cannon went hiking today. No, he watched football. Oh, what a waste of a gorgeous day. The sun hasn't been out in a while. It's been pouring rain for weeks. But today was great. And tomorrow it's supposed to be 65 or 68 tomorrow, which is crazy. Got into a fight with some blackberries. So this is the base. I'm making it kind of flat, as you can see. So here's a good place to use your pen tool, because you want him to sit flat, or her. If it's a her, could be a her. Today's video is going to be kind of quick, I think. We'll see what happens here. I just like to get him a little bit firmed up. And you can see it, you kind of want a little curve here. This will definitely be the back of the rabbit. These are just the cutest thing. You can attach them to mushrooms. You can just make a ton of these and give them to people because they're so cute and they're perfect for spring. Okay, so let's get some legs on. I know you're itching to do the head, but we're gonna do the legs first. All right, so the legs actually look like this. So I like to make them all at once. These are the front legs. These are the back legs. So what you're going to make is little cylinders, little rolls. Oh my goodness. So these are about 2 inches with some fringe, and these are about 1 inch with fringe, and they're about the same. They're 1/4 of an inch wide, so they're really small. They're really small. So let's use our skewer and wrap it tight. Remember, the more you wrap it, I hope I didn't go out of the frame there. Wrap it tight. And you don't want these, you want these pretty even. Even. So this will probably end up being a front leg. You can see you want this round. We had our WAFA sale this weekend on Friday. And if you tuned in, thank you. We appreciate the support. Have a lot of new products I'm going to add to the Liongate Farm store. So you can see this is pretty firm, because now we don't have to felt very much anymore. But down here, it's a little bit soft. I want you to leave this end a little bit soft, because you see what we're going to do. We're going to put it on and we're going to bend it. I'll show you that in a second. So let's make another one. Again, it doesn't take hardly any core wool to make these, or any wool, so that's why I don't mind telling you to use whatever color rabbit you want to make it. I was processing some rabbit color into stock, and I'm like, oh, I need to make a rabbit out of this rabbit color. I actually have 2 rabbit colors. I have a rabbit color and I have a jackrabbit color. They're a little bit different from each other. Nope, that's too much, so I'm going to tear that off. Belt this on. Slide it off and just put it aside. Now let's go. That's our front legs. Let's make our little back legs. So I ripped off a piece and I'm going to tear it in half. That wasn't quite enough, so I might have to use some of this. Again, you want these little cylinders to be even. And these are half as big as your front legs. There's one. You can see this core wool's a little less white than the other stuff I had. It's a little bit more cream color, but that's okay. He'll be a cream color bunny. So the DHG Snow if you want a really white hair. Second one. Now this one, see, this is a little bit thinner, so I'm going to poke it in because I want them even. Like I said, this is a simple little guy. All right, so we have our legs. Now, you have your body. You did a side. What is the front? I like this curve to be in the back. Oh, I forgot. And then when you put these on, oops, you're going to go past the body about that much. Actually, I'll tell you how much. About almost like 3/8 of an inch, not a ton, because we're going to make his little paws. And then just attach them. Attach them using, don't, you should do this with it on your pad. You guys all know that I felt up here because I can't look down very long, and I especially can't look down today because I've been doing too much stuff. Don't worry, we'll work this all in. So you put it down here on your pad and just work down his legs into the body. So you can then, I want you to stab right along the bottom of his body. And then you're gonna stab them in and see, look, we're making little paws. It's a little bit awkward at first. You can take them, turn them upside down and go this way. Let's stab that into the body. See, now I might have made that a little bit too firm. So keep the ends of the long pieces a little bit soft. It'll be easier for you, but I'm gonna stab it up. And so we're gonna have two little paws, and we'll shape those in a minute. Let's take a little piece of this core wool, and I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna cover up the tops of its legs. So I like it to kind of blend. I don't want an abrupt attachment. Let's just blend those little legs in. I usually play with these for a bit. All right, so we're gonna just leave this loose. So that leg's, now we have our other two little legs. And we're just going to have that one come out as far as the front foot. Let's attach it back here with the fringe. And we're gonna do the other one out as far as the front foot. And we're gonna attach it. So see, now we have 4 feet sitting out here. I really don't like this foot. I'm gonna fix it right now, just by poking it in. Be very careful not to stab into your hand if you're holding it like I am. Kenan, there's M&Ms on the counter in the kitchen. Kenan is the resident chocolate-aholic. Okay, so now we're gonna make 2 pillows. So let's take 2 pieces, probably 2 inches by 1 inch, and we're just gonna roll it up into a little pillow. And it's gonna go over the top of this leg. And we're gonna use that fringe to poke it in. Makes a little haunch for our hair. You can tell I got that pretty firm by how it sounds. I like to sit and work everything until it's all nice and smooth. You can see my one leg is bigger than my other leg, so I am going to try and poke it enough into the body that they become the same size. Okay, we still need to make one more haunch over here. Back that foot up a little bit so that it's right there. Now you want to make sure, like I didn't, you want to make sure that they're at the same height across the body. Don't want a lopsided hair. If you're wondering why Rip is quiet today, Cannon, it's because he was outside all day enjoying the sunshine. Still don't like this foot. So if you're having the same foot problems I am, I'm actually going to add a little piece. Do you remember, you can always add. This foot just is not the same size as the other one. This is me being picky, and it's okay to be picky. So if you have a foot you don't like, you can just add some. See, that makes it much better. So now we have little feet. So what he needs now is a head with ears. This needs poked in a little bit more. You can see I didn't poke this. It's still floofy out here. I just shaped it on and left it a little floofy. Work smarter, not harder. You don't need to poke your things until they're rock hard. Hardly ever. So where we're at now is we need a head. So we're going to put him aside for just a second, our headless bunny. And we are going to make another cone shape. It's probably easier if you use a skewer. So the head ends up being about 1.25 inches long. Narrow at one end, wide at this end. And I'll give you that measurement in a minute. I can eyeball it. Now you can make this bunny bigger if you would like to. I just like him little because I can sit him in places. I'm going to stab that on. That's going to give me a good start, but I'm not going to stab this end. I'm going to stab down here in the middle, but I'm not going to disturb this fringe because we're going to use it. And I'm going to wrap a little bit more around this bottom cone, as long as I'm maintaining this cone shape. Now, not pointy. Your end is going to actually end up kind of flat by the time we're done. Now, unlike what I just told you about the haunches, this you want felted pretty firmly because we're going to put some detail on it that involves sculpting, and you know your wool won't sculpt until it gets to a particular compaction. I mean, that's the whole premise of felting, compacting your wool. I am trying to make it nice and smooth, however. So if I take, I'm going to put these other excess legs aside. Taking out my skewer. My head may be too long. So my head should be about 1.5 inches. Oh, it's about 1.5 inches. It just looks long. So we have this fringe here. We have some fringe here, and we are going to join all. Now, this is what you got to decide how you want your bunny's head. You can have him looking that way. I like mine looking up. So I'm going to take that fringe, and I'm going to stab it this way. So he's looking up. Right now I'm just attaching it, but he will definitely look up by the time I I'm done, and I just stab myself in the hand. So do as I say, not as I do. Let's just get that fringe firmly attached. Now see, he's going to look up by attaching the back section first. And you can see we have, this is his little jaw. This is going to be his little nose. Get that nice and smooth. And this we want kind of flat. Right there. And then under here, remember we left that fringe where his legs are? Let's join this in to his chin. As you can see, we're almost bunny. We're almost a bunny. Now I want this all smooth before I put on any ears. I can tell you something that happened to me when I was making these. The ears can get out of control. They can get way out of control and be way too big. So kind of estimate and just know that they can be out of control, and you may have to cut them down with scissors. So the ears actually end up to be little bit less than 1 3/4 by 3/4. Okay. But there is a little piece right here that will blend into the head. So to make your ears, you're just going to take 2 little stacks. We've done this a million times. Now remember, 1 3/4, it's super, which is only this much. So kind of stab out your shape. You know, I make them way too big all the time, and then I end up cutting them to get them to what I look like. So stab your ear out and then fold that in. That gives you a nice edge. Fold your excess in. It's going to build up your ear. I'm too close together. Want to narrow down here, but not too narrow. I tend to fold the sides in first and then the top. Yeah, it's so easy to make these ears too big. You can use a multi-tool if you're more comfortable with that for your flat felting. Pen tool's great. Work both ears at the same time so they're somewhat similar. So you guys, what's your favorite spring activity? Mine, of course, is gardening, which I'm a weirdo like that because I love flowers. I can't wait to get the greenhouse going, but it's a tad early, maybe next month. So you can see that one's starting to look like an ear because I flip it again. You want these pretty well felted. You don't want them super hairy. Work your sides in so they're nice and smooth. And you can see I'm flipping them back and forth. They still look a little big, huh? Well, they won't. We're going to fold them, then they'll be smaller. But again, if they're too big, we can cut them. All right, so I have a little bit of pink here. This is Hollyhock. This color is Hollyhock by DHG. I love this color. It's one of my favorite pinks. It's kind of a dusty pink. It's not a pink pink. I do like candy floss, even though it's a pink pink too. I'm just ripping off a very small amount and applying it to the center of the ear. Now, we're going to take the ear off of your pad and you're going to fold it in half. And you are going to stab the end. So it looks like this. We want this shape. Let's do both of them. We don't have a right or a left yet. Notice I'm still leaving fringe. Now this one ear is bigger than the other ear. Told you that happens. They tend to grow. But we're going to bury it. We are going to bury it in his head. So then you're going to, I want you to think about where the nose is going to be. See how his nose is going to be there? You want to line this up with the edge of his nose and just poke it on. Bury that excess fringe in the top of his head. Poke into inside the ear, around the bottom. Because I like his ears to go backwards. I suppose if you want, you can put his ear up, which would be also cute. I tend to like them back for this application. But the sky is the limit. So I've worked all that in. Now let's put the other one on. Make sure that they hang the same. So you may have less to poke in on one side. There's his nose. Draw a line, kind of. Let's get that in there. This is more a hare than a bunny. Okay, now that you have the ears on, let's do a little styling. Okay, so if you look at your bunny from here, he's going to have like a neck right there. Got a little line there. And we got the nose there. His eye is going to be about right there. It's almost 3/4 of the way to the ear. So then I like to look at it from the top and see his other eye is going to go here. Remember, on that line from the ear to the nose. That's where his eyes are going to go. Super cute. Remember, I told you this needs to be very well felted in order to get his nose on. For the nose, we're going to stab a line towards the eye. That's about 1/4 of an inch long to the center of the nose. And then on the other side, basically we're drawing his nose with our needle. If you are not felted enough, it will disappear somewhere and it will all cave in. And if you aren't felted enough, just take your time and go back. Now I'm going down towards my thumb to draw the center of his mouth. Don't go all the way. Go to just before, And then you know I like my guys to smile. So I'm going to stab in a smile on one side. And then stab another one in over here. Trying to make them the same. We're going to add black. Very small black fibers to this mouth. See, it's also making his little cheekies while we do this. Even though this is felted well, by compacting and pushing the wool a certain way, it will cause the other wool to poke out. Cause this to do that. That's what felting is all about. Learning which way to push the wool so it goes where you want it. And it takes practice. Lots and lots of practice. I'm working up a llama video for you guys, and I've had to do it like 5 different times. And I think I finally have it right. So we'll film that after, not today, but we will film that next. So you guys will have a llama to play with. It's a little bit harder project. Okay, it's a lot harder than this rabbit. I mean, it does have 16 gauge wire in it, so get ready for that. So now we're going to take black, and we're going to take very little. Sometimes it helps lick your finger. You want very little fiber. And I'm going to start over here. That might be too much. Let's see. I'm going to start tacking it in. Less is better when you're doing these small details like this. Sometimes it's just 1 or 2 fibers. Can always add more. Take a couple more. It's such a small amount. Poke it in where the nose is. And kind of look at your bunny. Say, I need to shape his cheeks a little bit. Or I need to make this nose go up higher. Look at him from all the angles. What else needs? Now, I have extra black fibers here. This always makes me crazy when this happens. I don't want the mouth fibers up in the nose. See, there's still another one. It's just one fiber that I missed. You can take scissors and trim these off, or you can just fight with them like I am. So he has a nice smile. Now, let's put some eyeballs in. Again, little bits of fiber. He just does not want to sit up. Oh, I know why he's not sitting up. He's missing a vital part. Small amount of fiber. You can roll it into a ball. I tend to just push it in, gather it with my needle. Push it in. Small amount. And then if you want, you can use blush. I'm going to make this a little narrower. You can use blush, you can use a little fiber, put a little bit in his nose, right here. Very small amounts. You just want to shade it just a little bit. super cute. And then again, you can use blush or you can use fiber and put a little pink on his cheeks. We're using some fiber here. I keep thinking that this little hare, he needs a butterfly on his nose or something. Super cute. Super cute little guy. Can just work that pink in around. And you know me, I will play with this once I am done and finish him up a little bit, get him smoother, but he's missing one vital important thing. So you see how he keeps falling backwards? Because he needs a couple locks, a couple of these blue-faced Leicester locks poked in for his tail. And that will make him sit up perfectly. Just wad them up and poke them in until you have a nice fluffy cottontail right in the back. That is the fastest bunny in the West for needle felting. Are they cute? Thanks for joining me today as we made our cute little hares. Remember, if you're watching, click like, subscribe to our YouTube channel because it really helps us out. And if you need supplies, head over to liongate.org, click the farm store, and I got everything you need.